The atrocities of Hitler are rightfully recognized as beyond abhorrent, but we must continue to be vigilant to make sure they never happen again. We must never forget. But we also must never stop learning. Here's another story of genocide that for some reason history has erased.
Growing deep within the roots of socialism is a brutal and dismissive view of human life.
The essence of Marx is simply that the universe is run by these cold, material, impersonal forces, and that over time we are going to see us move from the feudal through the capitalist to the socialist to the communist age. Along the way, a lot of people are going to get killed, and Marx was completely fine with this.
In the Nazi Germany, these groups were of course defined by ethnicity, like the Jews, for example, and in the Soviet Union they defined them by social origin. But the idea was the same.
Communist chief and dictator of 160 million Russians.
Today, most have forgotten the scale of the Soviet atrocities, particularly what may have been their most horrific. It began long before Hitler's horror was revealed. Popular uprising had become a problem in the Ukraine. Their spirit of individualism threatened the grand design of Moscow. Stalin decided to take steps and correct the problem.
The objective was to put the Ukrainians on their knees.
Stalin forced peasants to give up their farms under the banner of collectivization.
And it is the peasants who are the army of nationalism. So what do you do? You got to crush them.
Наприклад, у моєї дружини дідусь, який у 33-му році помер, був арештований за те, що він не захотів йти в колгосп. Просидів у тюрмі. Поки він сидів у тюрмі, його дружину змусили, щоб вона написала документ про розлучення. Бо в тебе дід приходить з тюрми, у його нема дружини, вона відлучена. Немає можливості зустрітися з дітьми, в його нема хати, в його нема землі, в його нема нічого. Це таких історій мільйони.
Stalin took everything, their independence, their livelihoods, and even their food, plunging the Ukraine into famine. And while the people were starving, it wasn't because the food wasn't growing. Grain production was skyrocketing. Instead of giving the grain to starving people, the Soviets exported it to fund their centrally planned industrialization. How the Soviets dealt with the hunger was inhuman.
Она заходит. А кто у вас здесь помер? Давай. Там одной ночи женщина сама лежит, опухшая, понимаю. Так, говорит, давай ее сейчас заберем. Что ее, она все равно помрет завтра, за ней еще ехать нужно будет сегодня. Она просит, что да я же еще живу, я жить хочу, я... Скинули з вода. Як стануть землею закопувати, то я мала не ходила на кладбище, а люди такі вже дорослі ходили. Казали, земля ворушилася, як закриють цю землю.
The forced famine that resulted was so horrific, the situation so desperate, that there were even widespread reports of cannibalism.
I was once with a group of people going to one part of Ukraine, and I said, is there some older lady that could tell me something about what happened?
What the woman told him next, he would never forget.
And she said, oh my God, I really don't like to talk about that. She says, you see, there is this house on the top of the hill there. A mother ate her daughter. She was already insane because people usually reach the level of insanity. And then she committed suicide.
How did the Soviets deal with this? They printed posters that said, "To eat your own children is a barbarian act."